Three, two, one.
Good morning. You're tuned into Talent Talk. And starting off, the other day, I was talking to someone about their experience of trying to buy a home in Oregon last year. I believe they made about 28 offers on different homes. Every home was super competitive, and each time they got beat out, either by cash offers or having the home bid up 20, 50, $70,000 above the list price and outside their budget. They got so frustrated by the last offer, they just gave up and didn't even end up buying a home last year. Have you heard about stories like this? Is this your story? I felt really bad because I know there are ways to help make an offer that wins. Last year, we helped our clients win bids against multiple offers in excess of 30 other bids, against cash offers, even against offers where we weren't the highest dollar bid on the table. We were just the best offer for what the seller wanted. We certainly didn't win every time, but we were always strategic and helped our clients position and present their best offer to compete. So if you're curious about how we do that, today is your lucky day. We're going to talk about the untold secrets of making a winning offer in an uber seller's market. So let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go. So that's what we're talking about today, right?
Absolutely.
We have this super competitive market. We have people that are sitting on the sidelines, not sure how to even approach this market. And we've got this bag of secrets ready to share.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the struggles that we're seeing today is that we are in a great, it's a great seller's market. If you're looking at selling your home, now's a great time. But the challenge is if you're looking to buy a home, there's a lot of competition that you're up against, and being able to set yourself apart from everyone is what we're going to be talking about today. Tips and tricks to help you win and negotiate when you're looking at purchasing a property.
Yeah. Davina, I know you've been actively engaged in this market. You've been helping people out, and it isn't always easy. We don't always win, but with strategy, you've got some things in there that can help somebody actually write a winning offer. What's one of your top untold secrets on helping a buyer win in this market?
Okay. So you guys, it's a secret, so you can't tell anyone. Okay. All right. So, one of the things that we can really overlook is the actual people that are involved in a transaction. And, when you're going to get a job, what do? You put on your best dress, you put on your best face, and you write a resume, right? Like you write a resume, and you usually have a cover letter that goes along with that resume too, right? So in corporate world or whatever, whatever type of job you're in, you want to market yourself with a resume and a cover letter. And so it's the same concept. And now learn some of these tips and tricks in a special place. And we'll talk, that's another secret, right? We'll talk about that secret later. But this is one of the big tips and tricks that we learn there. And so what a buyer resume is literally a layout of who the people are involved in the transaction. We want to let the seller know that, hey, if you work with us, boss, if you hire me, this is what you're going to get, right? And so then we talk about, who is the lender? How long have they been in business? How many loans have they closed? What is their success rate? And we talk about, the team behind, if that lender has a team. So making sure they're not missing any pieces. And we also lay out, who the buyer is, what their criteria that why are they qualified, not just financially qualified. That is one thing that we put in the letter. We actually have a spreadsheet or a layout of what should be in that buyer resume. I personally went again up against this was last year. I had a buyer that was looking at purchasing a home in Thurston County, multiple offers. We were financed VA. They had cash offers. I wrote a buyer resume, and the agent called me back and said, you know what, we had cash offers, but you know what? I loved how you presented the buyer was contingent. Hello. And we won. We won. So the buyer was, I mean, I've actually, and there's a place that you get this at, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later, the secret place. But that's one. Also, there's a love letter, and a love letter is different than a buyer resume. The love letter is something that not that we write as real estate professionals, but a love letter is something that the buyer writes as a letter to the seller directly. Now, there's been some controversy about this love letter thing, and it is actually has been banned in some other states. Currently in the state of Washington, it's not banned, but I hear that that's something that's been circulating about it. But a love letter is basically a letter that, again, the buyer writes. We don't induce it. We don't have any part of it, because communication from the buyer to the seller and the seller to the buyer, we have to present. So if the buyer says, I want to write a letter to the buyer, to the seller, excuse me, then we legally, making sure that it doesn't violate anything, we send that off we have to counsel our clients now. Again, we can do that. There's some fair housing things that are going on in there, so I won't go into that completely because that's a whole nother show. But talk to your professional about a love letter, and that is where the buyer talks about themselves, and there's this emotional attachment or information that the seller can gather from the buyer based on the letter that they're writing to the seller. I won't go into that anymore, but those are a couple of secrets, and think about those: resume, cover letter.
So what you're saying is, with a buyer resume or with a love letter, there's an opportunity to take a contract or an offer that is really, you don't know it from anything else, and help to personalize it so that there's possible feeling or connection between seller and buyer, or seller to buyer.
Yep. Yep, absolutely. So it's the connection and the, man, I'm prepared to actually buy this house, Mr. Seller. Work with me. And
Work
with me.
Nice.
Very nice. One of the things you touched on, Davina, is how you're building. A lot of times brokers, we get into the just, hey, let me write this offer for my client, and I'll put everything on paper, and I'm going to shoot it over, and I'm going to send it over to the other broker, to the listing agent. Well, as a buyer's broker or buyer's representative, one of the secrets that we talk about, and what I like, would be our number 2 secret, which is actually building rapport with the listing agent, and being able to stay communicative, and just have that open line of communication of like where your buyers are at, what they're willing to do. I mean, we're talking about like opening up negotiations here, but just making sure that you're staying communicative with that listing agent / the seller, as far as like, maybe like, where are you at with your offers? What is your seller looking for within an offer? What's important to your sellers? Finding out some of that information ahead of time to help better craft your offer when you're writing the offer. Part of the thing, what I look at as well when writing a winning offer, or even getting an offer accepted, is actually making the agent that you choose. So if I'm a buyer, the agent you choose actually makes a big difference as far as being able to help craft the offer, negotiate the offer, and help get you to a winning offer, to help you win that bid. So part of that is the relationships that even those brokers build with other brokers in the community, and making sure that we can foster some of those things that help our buyers. So
absolutely.
No burning bridges. There's times when things you don't get the offer and you have a I've never done this before, but you have a tantrum. And the next time around, if you have a relationship with that agent, they are going to remember what the last interaction with you was. Okay? So just remember that. Building rapport, become that agent, try to become that agent's best friend. Don't be weird. Don't be a stalker,
Oh,
but be nice, be kind, and over communicate. I know on both sides on the listing, if you're listing a home, I can appreciate the agents actually calling and asking questions and just being inquisitive and saying, what can I do? Or, how are things going? And, when you get an offer and there's been no communication, agent hasn't called you, and then you didn't even know it was coming in, and it makes a difference between if that offer was similar to another offer and I had an agent that was talking through and saying they're, talking, that's going to make a difference. That could
yeah.
be a win-lose.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so quick reset. You are watching Talent Talk. Today, we are talking about writing a winning offer in an Uber seller market. And actually, with the win, you actually getting the property. And these are some secrets to help you do that. If you like what you're seeing, like, subscribe, hit the follow buttons. Those are the things that help keep this going, and we can continue to deliver great content and value to you every single time. We've gone through 2 of 5 secrets we're going to talk about. And if you stick around, we'll get to a bonus one as well. We've got the buyer resume and a love letter to start. We have building rapport with the listing agent, because that's super important. That's going to help with those connections. And then the next one, Davina had alluded to it. And also Steve had mentioned, or maybe just brushed right alongside it as well, which is actually negotiation. And one of the keys can be a certified negotiation expert, or that next step, a master certified negotiation expert. What that is being able to actually be qualified and certified as a negotiation expert, someone who is going to be able to fully represent you, and not only represent a buyer really well, but negotiate on their behalf to find a way to make it all interlock and work. And there are a ton of things. The buyer resume was a key thing that had come from there. But there are also a few things. One that I wanted to speak on really just quickly, because there's so many more. We can get so in the weeds on this, but we don't want to. We want to keep it nice, easy, and you can always reach out to us, and we'd be happy to go in depth for you. But one of them is something called BATNA, which is best alternative to negotiated agreement. When you're going through the whole contract negotiation, getting ready to make the offer, everything else, a BATNA is making sure that you have something else that you can fall back on, because your position is strengthened when you have other alternatives. If you only have one single alternative, or no alternatives at all, excuse me, then you really have nowhere to go with things. You're kind of tied into this is it or there's nothing. And that's what ends up happening for so many people. They just fall in love with one single home. They don't have an alternative, and they will throw everything at it. And then the level of disappointment, the crushing disappointment, is almost unbearable if they don't get that offer. Guess what? If you have alternatives that you can fall back on or go over to, it doesn't seem so bad. And then you can negotiate in a stronger position to help you win. So BATNA is one aspect within the whole certified negotiation and learning to negotiate. There's so many ways to help you actually win the offers. So number 3 is certified negotiation expert. What do you think?
I love it. And, we as real estate professionals need to sharpen our tools. The number one thing that buyers need from us, and sellers, but buyers really in this market, need a negotiator. That's what we are here for. And we as a group here at Talent Group, many of us, we've taken those courses. We have many of us are certified master negotiators here. And so we get some extra tips and tricks from those courses and learning. And it's just great to be able to feel confident knowing that we can go into a situation and get a win.
One of the top things is, just by going through the course, is maybe not even taking everything and putting it into practice, but just the fact that we've talked about it, we communicated about it, we learned about it. All of a sudden, when you're in a negotiation, there's an awareness of different things. And then you're looking at every transaction differently. You're approaching it in different ways, better strategic ways, so that you actually have an opportunity to win, where otherwise we wouldn't even have that awareness, and we pass opportunities by all the time. And then if you don't have that awareness, you're only negotiating on price. What a terrible thing. That means you either have the highest bid or you lose every time.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that's some of the difference. It's some of those small things when we're talking about negotiating that we do that makes a big difference, because it's not all the time. And I think Jurgen, you talked about this. It's not just about the price and even the terms, but some of those smaller things that come into play with maybe just, and Davina talked about this, is knowing the team that you're working with behind the scenes with the resume. And making sure that they can actually get the transaction to close, and just the communication. So yeah, it's more than just price and terms.
Here's the analogy, and I was just thinking about this. The analogy is having the communication with the agent in advance can let you know what tool you need to use, and we have a toolbox of tools. But if you're having this communication with the agent and it's like, okay, this is great, I already have the screw in. I just need to get that screwdriver. I need to tighten the screw. Like, I just need to tighten the screw. But if we don't have that conversation and then we come in with a hammer instead of the screwdriver, we literally can just not even be successful, because we're not using the right tool, because the communication that we have had or have lacked to have. So I don't know if that was like a really good analogy or not, but
I think relational to what you were saying there is, if you don't find other things to negotiate on, you can only negotiate on price, which means that you are either the top bid or you're not. You need to find other things to be able to help the negotiation and help set you apart. So what we've been talking about are secrets to negotiation, or secrets to a winning offer in an Uber seller's market. We've gone through 3. One is the buyer resume and love letter, which helps with some separation potentially, building rapport with the listing agent so you can find out the things, and then actually certified negotiation expert, which is going to be a way to take the information that you understand and negotiate in a way to write a winning offer. So Davina, as we go through.
And thank you, Valerie. Thank you. I feel redeemed.
Very good. What's another secret? So we've got 2 more we're going to cover. And if you stick around, we're going to bonus you up on 1 too.
Yeah. Another one has to do with your strength of your loan. So there are different phases of loan readiness, right? We talk about being ready, buyer ready day 1. Okay. That's one of the things that we talk about. And there's certain scenarios. So there's getting that pre-approval, which is, the lowest, pre-qualification, which is the lowest level of approval. That's literally going to a website, saying, oh, I'm going to put in my information. And then you get this letter that says, hey, you might qualify to get a loan for up to this much. Could you use that with your financing to submit an offer? Yeah, but is it strong? Absolutely not. The weakest form, you've not been pre-approved at all, right? So the next level is the pre-approval, and that's actually talking to a lender or a loan officer. They actually take your information, they verify your information, taxes, income, yada yada yada, and then that loan officer says, based on what you have provided to me with your also with your credit scores, we would pre-approve you for a loan. So you can use this letter. Better than a pre-qualification, but actually it gets better than that. Okay. There is what's called a pre-underwritten approval. Okay. Highest level of approval there is. Okay. Everyone who is getting a loan should ask their lender if you can pre-underwrite me. This takes some extra work, you guys. You've already gone through the pre-qualification. You've already gone through the pre-approval. This means that they've taken your information. They've sent it to their underwriting team. The underwriting team has done all of the work that they need to do, as they would if they actually had a live contract. The only thing they can't do, because they don't have a live contract, is get an appraisal. Okay. So that means buyer, 100% approved. We could close on a loan if you had a house. And that means this loan is only contingent on finding a house and it appraising. Okay.
Yeah.
That means you can go up against cash. You can literally go to bat with a cash offer and have a very, very great chance of winning, okay, with a strong offer. So pre-underwritten approval, it's going to take the lender a little bit more work up front, but that means you could close in as little as what? As soon as the appraisal is done. If the appraisal takes 5 days, 4 days, 10 days, or 14 days, it really depends on the appraisal and appraisal, but you can have a quick closing with a pre-underwritten
Now,
approval.
hey, Davina.
Yes.
So since you're talking about this, there are lenders that go through and will say something is pre-underwritten, but it's just gone through desktop underwriting. Is that the same thing?
No, it is not. So make sure that your lender is actually doing a full underwriting with an underwriting team. A desktop underwriting is an automation. It is not a full underwriting where they've verified employment, where they've actually done all of the checks and balances as if they were ready to fund a loan. Totally different. Make sure it's not a desktop pre-underwritten situation.
Yeah, because when they go through the underwriting, they have to do a ton of things, even making sure that it goes against the lending standards or against potentially if they're going to sell the loans, other things. They have to conform and fit in little boxes. And they don't really do that until they get a physical, personal underwriter on that. The desktop underwriting doesn't do all that.
No, it does not. And just make sure things can come up at the very end. It could be child support that no one knew about, or it
Or
could
child.
which, well, that's a
No.
whole thing. But so there are things that can come up in a contract that can inhibit someone from closing. And if you have that pre-underwriting, it not only gives the seller a guarantee, it actually gives that buyer confidence, saying, you know what, nothing's going to just come up at the last minute. I'm solid, and I cannot just write you an offer, Mr. Seller, and get it accepted. I can actually get it closed, and I can get it closed quickly.
Yeah. And I know Steve's got the next one. There's one extra little part in there, and we talked about it with the rapport with the listing agent, writing an offer and actually having it pre-underwritten, and understanding that not every agent understands what a pre-underwritten offer means. They don't know the difference between that and a desktop underwriting, or even just a standard pre-approval. We've had a lot of success when we've gotten the lender involved in actually calling and being able to explain the qualifications of the buyer and what this whole pre-underwritten thing, what it actually means, right?
Yep. That is, and you want me to talk on that, or
If you want to,
yeah,
or Steve, if you want to, whichever.
Yeah, I mean, get your lender involved. One of the, we're talking about tips, tricks, and secrets here. One of the things I found that works is sending a personalized video. This kind of leads a little bit into the resume, but sending a video, and part of that is even having your lender involved and having them send the video along with a letter showing the strength of your buyer. I mean, a lot of times sellers who are looking at these offers, they're looking for reassurance that these buyers can actually get to closing, and that they're solid. The sellers want to have those warm and fuzzies, that feeling that, hey, if I accept this offer, that these buyers are going to perform. They're not going to back out. They're not flaky. And this is just a small part of what we're talking about when we talk about winning and negotiating offers.
Yeah. And having a lender that is going to call and advocate on your behalf, you can use every advantage possible. And that is really strong. If the lender can make that call and advocate for you, especially if they've been in the market and they've done business with the other agents. One of the values of having a local lender that's been doing business in the area and knows the agents in the market, right?
Yeah, I think that's a number in itself, because just seriously, because it can make a difference in using a large bank that is on the East Coast, right? Versus having a lender that's in the neighborhood that knows the market, that agent is aware that if they need, if there's an emergency, or if there's any information that they need, they don't have to wait until 9 and 5 o'clock on Monday through Friday. And if they're on the East Coast, it has to be between, 7 or 6 and
Yep.
2, right? Because they're
Yeah.
going to be closed.
Yeah.
So local
Relationships.
is so important. Use a lender that is going to be local and that is going to be available for your calls, concerns, questions, even after
Yeah.
business hours, typically.
All right. So what we've got is we're going into the untold secrets of writing a winning offer in a Uber seller's market. If you like what we're delivering and you want to deliver more, let us know what other topics you would like to see and what you'd like to hear about. We want to deliver value and actually just keep in communication with you. So we've covered buyer resume love letter. We've covered build rapport with a listing agent. We covered certified negotiation. And we just talked about actually getting pre-underwritten as the fourth untold secret. Steve, what do you have for secret number 5?
Secret number 5. I was going to hold up 10, but that'll be 10. Secret number 5.
Go divide by 2.
Divided by 2 is actually it's finding off-market property. What do I mean by off-market property? Homes that are not on the market or listed for sale through the Northwest MLS. So as real estate brokers and as professionals, we talk to a lot of people throughout the course of our day and throughout business. And our business is real estate and real estate sales. And what we do is match up home buyers with home sellers. And sometimes there's people out there who aren't ready to get their home on the market yet, but we kind of know about, like, hey, I'd be willing to sell if I can get my price. And being able to having that knowledge and knowing that resource of where to go as far as finding homes that are off market is one of the advantages is working with a real estate broker and a professional who's doing this full time and who's out there in the market, who's talking to people.
Yeah. It's actually going out there, and there are only so many homes on the market, and especially in this market where the inventory is so incredibly low. And once it gets on the market, everybody knows. Like all of a sudden, once it hits the market, everybody sees it. It's not like you have to walk into a real estate office or chase signs anymore to find out what's on the market. The moment it hits the market, everybody knows about it, and the buyers are so well educated. Your competition as a buyer is so well educated, they see it immediately. So you have competition at the very moment it hits the market, if it's right for you. We're talking about actually going out and finding the right home in the right neighborhood, everything else, doing the footwork and finding the home that nobody else knows about yet. And then if you're able to do that, guess what? The possibility of getting this home without competition goes up in a quick way, right? And that's what you really want. It's so often it's that competition that is really driving the escalations in prices, right?
Absolutely. And, when we're doing, whether it's a postcard, we are very big proponents of door knocking, right? We talk about it's not just about sending out a blast postcard. It's actually about getting those face-to-faces with those homeowners and the potential sellers, because we want to get in front of them even before they've made the decision. They're having the conversations maybe in their head and haven't even communicated it out to anyone. We have had instances where there has been a door knock and someone has said, were you just listening to a conversation that I just had? Right? Like, you are right on time. Of course, that's not going to happen every time, but if we're not out there doing it, we're not going to find those opportunities. And those opportunities are golden. We're talking about lives that are being changed and opportunities that are happening for buyers that would not have happened had we not gone out and knocked on that door.
Yeah. We're talking about options. With options, you have a higher opportunity to win. That's that kind of in line with what we were talking about with BATNA, best alternative to negotiation agreement. Like, you need options to be able to get the best outcome for you. And if you don't have it and you're just looking at what's on the market and that's the only source you ever have, it's always going to be competitive and you're always going to feel like you're running from behind.
Yep.
Yeah. Very good. All right. So we're talking about, again, the untold secrets to buyer success. We went through 5, and 5 is what we were doing. We had buyer resume and love letter. We had build rapport with the listing agent. We had certified negotiation expert, being able to best negotiate for you. We talked about pre-underwritten, which means you're better qualified than most people that are out there. And we talked about off-market property, finding you other alternatives that can best benefit you. And guess what? like we've been doing every time, we have a bonus for you as well. So like, subscribe, hit that follow button, because we want to keep in communication for you. And we want you to know whenever we go live, we've got our bonus, which is going Buyer Ready Plus. Buyer Ready Plus, what does that mean? We've got a trio of plus programs. This is the one that for a seller and you have a home that you need to sell, it is really scary that you want to buy a home, but you need to sell your home over here. When you go, Davina, you talked earlier about helping someone with a contingent offer. With the way it goes with so many cash offers, with such strong offers that are on the market right now, the contingent offer tends to fall to the very, very bottom of the stack. We have a way to help you actually make an offer when you have a home to sell without having to sell your home first, without having to be a contingent offer. You can make that offer. You can buy your home, get fully in contract, get through, and then sell your home without the pressure of being crunched for either time or having to sell for less money because you had to buy this other home. We've got the secret, and it's called Buyer Ready Plus.
Wait a second, Jurgen. So are you saying I could actually buy a home before I sell my own home?
Steve, you're picking up what I'm putting down. That is absolutely right. You can actually make that offer non-contingent and get in contract and buy your home before you sell the home you're currently in, which means you don't have to compromise on either your timelines or on the price of your own home. And you can still, as a seller, get the best value for your home right now while you go buy the home and have a place to live. And you're not just in so many people when they're needing to buy a home and sell a home at the same time. It just is such a stressful thing. This helps take the stress away.
Yeah, and go V, triple V. You know, she's one of our top producers, and she's like, I do all of this. Bam, you know. Yes.
All the time.
Yeah, we're talking about the secret
V.
of writing winning offers. And Vina is one of our top producers, and we got a lot of them. I think one of the things, and we've kind of touched on this, is working with a professional that knows the market, knows a lot of these tips and tricks, and knows how to help you write a winning offer. I mean, if you want more secrets and you want to learn how to dive deep into this, give us a call at John L. Scott Talent Group. We've got the brokers, we've got the education to be able to help you win offers, whatever that is. If you're a consumer, if you're a broker and you want to get better, we'd love to talk to you about how we do business and how we help our brokers, how we help our clients, buyers, and sellers.
I'm going to ask a question, like anyone watching out there that has either used any of these or has curiosity, which one of the 5 or 6 speaks to them the most? Anyone, like, just share, like in the chat, just say which one, or I'm curious about this one. Yeah. Would be interested to hear that from you guys too.
And this is just like a couple pages from our book of secrets. Mm-hmm. So, you know, if you want more, we definitely do. Everything is always going to be a little bit different because each transaction is a little bit different. What we talk about, each one is not going to work for every transaction, which is why we have a big tool bag, why we're able to reference and pull from so many different areas, because we need to have the right tool for the right situation. Davina, you'd use the analogy of having a tool and bidding on a job, but not bringing the right tool for the job. It doesn't really matter. We're actually out there every time trying to make sure that we do those things. Amanda, Buyer Ready Plus and Buyer Resume, awesome.
Yep. Whoop, whoop. It works. It totally works. And you know, it's interesting because even if I look at the list, I don't have one favorite. Like I'm torn because they all are so different. So, and again, Dawn would love to know more about Buyer Ready Plus. Yes. It is an amazing program that it's a turner. Turner.
Well, that was easy to say.
Yeah, 3 times fast, not just once. But yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
So yeah, definitely, David, a great question. Let us know what your favorite one is, or if you've got questions on them, reach out to us. You can private message us as well. We'd be happy to help you out on that. And don't forget to like, subscribe, follow us. Those are the things that first we love it and love the support. Oh, Christina, you wrote a love letter and it worked.
It worked, yes. And she got a
Beautiful.
baby out of it. I'm just kidding.
It was the love letter that was written to her that got the baby.
Yes, yeah. And her agent is, yeah, you had a great agent. Absolutely. He's shaking his head. Yeah.
All right. So, you know what? As we wrap that up, hopefully you got a lot from it. Let us know what else you'd be curious about, whether that's on the buying side, the selling side, whether that's actually just how to be a better agent or how to be more productive in life. We'll touch on all of these things. You just let us know what you're curious about, and we'll make sure we touch on it. And Pam, lender involved, advocating for you. Absolutely. That can be the secret sauce.
Yep.
So, Steve, as we wrap up, today is Friday, February 4th. We've got a couple of events and other things that are coming up. You got those?
We do. I do. What do we got coming up here? So, Career Night is going to be Tuesday, February 22nd. If you are looking at finding out what it takes to get a real estate license or maybe starting a career in real estate, go to our Facebook page, or you can go to our webpage and register for our class, free class. We also have Forums Friday coming up. That's in about 7 minutes, 8 minutes. And we will take a dive into a specific real estate form. This week, we're talking about the listing agreement. And this is open to all brokers. Go to our webpage to check it out. We also have a 2022 Facebook business page tutorial for beginners. It's a complete step-by-step workshop on how to set up a business page for beginners. So February 15th, come check that out. It's classes on our Facebook page.
And that's open to like any business, right?
Yep. That's open to everyone. So any real estate broker out there who's looking at building their business and growing it, come register for the class and check us out. Okay. Vina says, I have a few people for career night. Please send me the link. Vina, we got you.
It's going to drop in the chat.
Yeah, here we go in the chat.
Let's go.
All right. And you know what? Another thing that we have going on right now, we've got a workshop, which is it is a production workshop, action workshop for our brokers that we're working with, and it's helping to build their business through consistency and through working on building their skill set. So if you're a broker out there who may be struggling and who's looking for something a little bit more, give myself, any one of our managers or our team members a call. We'd love to talk to you about helping you grow your business.
Yeah. You know what? Guess we have gotten through a show. Valerie's got someone too. Hey, if anybody's even just curious, it's dropped in the link. You can see it right there. You can check it out. And if you've been curious about real estate in any way at all, we'd love to just get you some information. It's always best. You can make a great decision when you have information. It's hard to make a good decision if you don't know what it is. So we'd love to help you get informed, let you make an informed decision. And if we can help you out, that's what we're here to do.
Absolutely.
Amen.
Did you say, hey, man?
Hey.
All right. So next week, we do Talent Talks, 8:15. Tune in, 8:15. Again, give us a like, a follow. If you do that and you subscribe, you'll be able to, with that notification bell on YouTube, you'll know whenever we go live, and you can see when something new drops as well. Next week, we're going to be going over the market update. That's what's going on in the real estate market and how it impacts you. So that is going to be a really good one. We just wrapped up the very first month in 2022. Are you curious how it went? Do you already know what you think happened? We'll either affirm or help correct you just a little bit to let you know what happened and what we see coming up in the market.
That's right. So it is time for us to wrap up today, as we are just chugging along through this year, we're already chugging along through this year. It's crazy. But as we go through our days, we always think about these two words, and we want to start our day off with these two words. We want to end our day off with these two words, and we want to power punch the middle of the day with these words. So no matter what time you're watching this, just make sure that you think about, making those steps that are outside of your comfort zone, no matter what it is that you're going through right now or what decisions you have to make. Think outside the box and go for it and be bold. So we are going to count it down.
There you
Who's
go,
going to
Donna.
count it down? You're right in the middle. Steven, Jurgen in the middle. Count us down.
All right, here we go. On 3, say be bold with us. Go into the day with confidence and a little bit of swagger. 1, 2, 3. Be bold. Have a great day.
Bye, you guys.